Okay, so by now you've all heard of the new Allett Stirling mower. You know how quick and easy it is to change the cylinders, but is this mower really worth the price tag? And is this mower the right lawn mower for you? Well, we're going to cut the lawn, do some verti cutting, and we'll find out. Hi, I'm Rich from Mowd Lawn Care Subscriptions, where we bring you the right product at the right time in exactly the right amount straight to your door so you can get the perfect lawn this summer. Today we're looking at the Allett Stirling. Let's take a look. So you probably know the Allett Stirling for its cassette changing system, the fact that it is so quick, and you would have seen some of our TikTok showing you how quick it is. But for me, it's not the speed and how quick it is. You can do it in 15 seconds, Allett say. You can do it a hell of a lot quicker with a bit of practice. But for me, the biggest advantage to this system is that it is toolless. I have a Balmoral at home and I've used the Cambridge, and they require tools, so it means invariably that I think, oh, I better verti-cut or scarify the lawn, and I'm that lazy that spending 4 minutes changing the cassette or losing the tools to do it just means I don't do it. But with this system, it is so easy and simple. You lift these two levers on the side, and then you release the drive with this long handle, and then the whole cylinder, the whole cassette just slides out as easy as that. This is the verti cutting cassette, which we will use a little later, but for now we're going to pop in this 10 blade cylinder. So to put it in, it's a simple reverse, line it up, and you'll see once you've lined it up how easy, watch this, how easy that just slides in. It's a matter of tightening up the cassette with these green levers, and then you engage the drive again, and it is that simple and that easy. So the Allett Stirling 20-inch, this is Allett's flagship lawnmower. It's designed for the very best in home lawn care and also the amateur sports clubs as well. In here at the moment we have the 10 blade cylinder, which will go down all the way down to 3mm if you get the appropriate bed knife as well. So for bowling greens, cricket squares, it's absolutely fantastic for that. But also if you use the 6 blade cylinder, which is your usual domestic cylinder, then you can actually raise the height of cut here all the way up to 50mm, which gives it an enormous range actually. And that's one of the features where the Stirling kind of outperforms the Allett Cambridge, which is one of their new models. Just in the height with this machine is dead simple. You have the height adjuster on the side here, and again, just like the Cambridge, a stepless height change. So as you turn it, the cylinder moves. There's no steps in the change, which means you can be really accurate with the kind of height of cut that you're using. Again, electric or battery powered lawnmower, and this one is powered with the Ego battery. As standard you'll get the 56 volt 5 amp battery, but you can upgrade that to the 10 amp battery, which is the one that we have here. But if you go directly to Ego themselves, you can also get the 12 amp battery. So lots of different power outputs depending on the use that you're going to have for your machine. But if you're using the 5 amp battery, you're going to get around about 40 minutes to an hour's use. Charge time for the 56 volt 5 amp battery is 100 minutes, but you can speed that up if you want to upgrade to the rapid charger, and that will get a full charge in around about 40 minutes. So brilliant if you have got a big lawn like this and you want to cut and verti cut in the same time. Couple of cups of tea and you're ready to go again. But actually the duration of this 10 amp battery is fantastic. We're going to use it today. We're going to double cut, we're going to do some verti cutting, and we'll see how much battery we've got at the end of it. And actually to start with as well, you just press the Ego button on the back and you've got 5 sections around that button, and it will light up each segment, giving you 20%. That'll tell you how much battery that you've got left, and quite easy to take it in and out. You just pull the clip and lift the battery out. You could even have a second battery, pop this one on charge and then put another one in the machine, and unless you're using it all day every day, that's going to be sufficient for pretty much every home user. A few other cassettes that we've got, scarifying cassette on the end there, you've seen that one in the Balmoral, really great for picking up debris, a bit of light thatch control, and the verti cutting cassette here. Now the verti cutting cassette, brilliant design, and that's designed to be a little bit heavier on the thatch control, good to do that fairly regularly, maybe every month, different directions, and it will just stop the grass growing sideways, it will help pull up some of the thatch and the dead grass, and help with your weed control as well. So back to this mower then, in the back of it, this is one of the features I really like that you get for the premium line of machine, and this is the key for the Allett Stirling, and this one is actually programmed to this machine. So if you're worried about security, somebody can't just turn up to your home or your sports club, put in a random key and start it. It has to be the one that is programmed for this machine. That's a feature I particularly like. Allett have thought very carefully about the design and the ergonomics of this machine, and you've actually got 3 different settings depending on how you like to stand at the machine, and there's also a storage setting where the handle comes all the way back and then you can push it down nice and low, and there that's going to store itself in your garage or your shed rather comfortably. One of the other benefits of this particular machine, and this is the one that you all know about, and that's the rapid change cartridges. Now for me, the advantage with this machine isn't that it only takes 15 seconds according to Allett to change. I can actually do it in a lot less than that, but for me it's the fact that it is toolless changing. I'm always looking for the spanners or the Allen keys to change it, and I can never find it, so the fact that this is toolless is brilliant. 2 clips to do on the inside to release the cartridge, release the driver with this lever here, pull it out and put the new one in. An absolutely brilliant design. Again, really quite difficult to design a mower that is as good on the sports pitches like the bowling greens and cricket squares, which are generally quite big in open spaces, and good on the smaller, tighter lawns. But Allett have managed that by putting a split roller at the rear with a geared differential. Now this machine is 43 kilos. It could be quite heavy to lift, but it manoeuvres like a much lighter machine and is very agile because of that split roller with the differential. That means that when coupled with the speed control on the top, which goes from 0.8 miles an hour right up to 3.4 or 3.6, it means that you can cut long open expanses quickly, but you can slow it right down if you need to maneuver around the flower beds or the trees, but also if you're using one of these grooming cassettes, slower is better in that context. And also Allett are synonymous with stripes, really strong stripes. You get good stripes with most cylinder mowers, but Allett have really perfected that, and they've pulled a design feature forward from what you'll recognise from the Balmoral and also the Cambridge, and that is this grooming spring right behind the front roller. That's going to help to lie the grass in the direction that you're cutting, which will give you the much stronger stripes. So buying a new mower is quite an investment, especially this one, £3,850. That would be for the standard 56 volt 5 amp battery and a 6-bladed cylinder. That's the 20-inch version. The 17-inch version is a couple £100 less than that. And if you're going to spend that much money on a mower, you want peace of mind, which is why Allett will give you a 2-year warranty for the home user. And even if you're a sports club or a sports user, you'll still get 3 months warranty. So you can buy this machine with absolute confidence. So one of the main advantages of battery powered lawnmowers is it is a lot quieter. 90 decibels means it's going to annoy the neighbours, not quite so much, but it also means that I can actually talk to you whilst using this machine. That is how quiet it is. And of course, without an engine rattling around up here, there are less fumes and there's also less vibrations. And that is really important for volunteers at clubs, cricket clubs and bowling clubs who rely on volunteer members to actually use this machine. A very simple machine to use with the height adjustment and the cartridge changes, not like some of the older machines that need greasing and need tools in order to use them properly. Not to mention the servicing costs. If you send this away for service now, you're not servicing the power unit or you're not servicing the petrol power unit. It's mainly just the cylinder and bottom blade, which will be adjusted, grinded and sharpened. One of the biggest advantages that the Stirling has over the Cambridge is the ability to independently drive it. So I don't have to engage the blades to move this machine forward. That's something you do have to do with the Cambridge model. This is great, again, if you're a sports club and where you store the mower is a little distance from where you actually use it, or if you're a homeowner and you have to move this over kind of driveways, patios. It's great to know that you have the confidence and safety to drive it without engaging the front blades. One of the biggest concerns of people with battery is it powerful enough to do the job? Now, this particular cylinder motor is 1000 watts worth of power. And if you compare that to the Liberty 43, that was around 410 watts. So it's an awful lot, more than twice as powerful as that machine. For the finest cut turf as well, you'd expect a really high clip rate, and that's what you get with the Allett Stirling, 375 cuts per square metre if you're going to be using the 11 blade cassette that's in there, which again just produces that really even, really nice cut. So now we're going to give this lawn a cut. It's a family lawn, it's bumpy, it's lumpy, it's not your usual Stirling lawn, but I'm going to show you how good this machine is and how good it can make your lawn look with just a simple couple of cuts. Let's go and use it. So about 450 square metres of lawn today. It's a bit shorter down here than up the top. This is the bit of the lawn that we try and keep nicer because it's a very big lawn and we don't have a Stirling every week to cut it. But at the minute we've got the 11 blade cylinder in, usually for much shorter lengths, but we just want to see how it's going to go. But we're going to cut this to about 25 mil as well. And we've got a full battery, so we want to cut it. We're going to verti cut it and see what battery we've got left at the end. So let's have a chop. First important thing, if you're going to cut stripes into a lawn, is to make sure the first one is arrow straight. Set up a string line if you're that bothered by it, but I've just got a point. I'm going to just miss that swing in the tree and I'm heading straight up the top of the garden. So let's get cutting. So you can see the difference it's made to this lawn, the Stirling, just with one cut or two cuts. Technically I did two passes, and this was a lawn that is kind of in development, so it's not a pristine lawn, but it is a family lawn. It's a little bit bumpy, there are obstacles, and what you might have thought from the Stirling is that it is just for fine turf, perfect lawn and kind of cricket squares and bowling greens, but it is managed brilliantly over this lawn as well. Don't forget we had the 11 blade cylinder in. The 6 would have been more suitable to this kind of length of grass. Clipping rate would have been better for the length of grass, but you can see the stripes that it's put in here. Just again, the grooming bar that sits just behind the front roller has done a great job. The split differential as well in the rear roller has allowed me to really wind down the speed to 0.8 miles an hour, go around the flower beds, go around the trees, but then I could turn it right back up to 3.6 miles an hour, get a right stride on and get those really long straight stripes that you can see here. If you wanted to do this again and again and maybe have it for a whole week and just keep cutting in the same direction, those stripes would, what we say, burn in, and the grass would lay even flatter in each direction and give you even more contrast in the stripes. Another way you can really improve the appearance of a lawn like this is by fertilising, and a lot of people forget to fertilise, or they put the same fertiliser down every time. But with Mowd Lawn Care Subscriptions, we send you the right seasonal fertiliser just when you're supposed to put it down in exactly the right amount, so you don't even need to measure it out. A lot of our fertilisers are really high in potassium, and that means that the sward will be nice and thick, and that will really improve the aesthetic and again improve the stripe. Some of our fertilisers have iron in them, so that will give a really nice vivid green colour as well. So when you couple a good fertilising programme such as a Mowd Lawn Care subscription with a really high quality mower like an Allett Stirling or Cambridge, that's how you're going to get the best looking lawn this summer. So 450 square metres of lawn, actually cut it twice as well, so about 900 square metres, and this 56 volt 10 amp battery actually still has 3 of the 5 segments lit up. So I've got way more than half of the battery, about 60% of the battery left, and that means I can now swap out the cylinders, maybe do some verti-cutting or some scarifying, which we might do in a little while. So is this lawnmower right for you? Well, it is a very individual question to answer, but here are a few pointers. If it's important for you to have the best quality cut, then this Stirling is the lawnmower for you. If it is important for you that you can change the cylinders and the cassettes out really quickly, and you want to do all that cultivation work like scarifying, verti-cutting, don't forget there's brushes and all sorts, then again the Stirling is for you. If you favour the speed control and you have a large lawn, you have a tight lawn that needs good manoeuvrability, again this lawnmower is for you. There is an alternative, and it does also come from the Allett range. It's the Cambridge. You'll see we checked out the Cambridge a few weeks ago, and it has a lot of the features you see here, but it is slightly cheaper. It comes in around about £1,500 cheaper for a similar size mower. It's a 17-inch Cambridge model, not the 20-inch that you see here. And really the only differences between the two are the fact that the Cambridge, you can't drive it independently, you have to engage the blades to move it. So if you've got to move it regularly over patios, gravel, to get to the grassed area, that might be a consideration for you. Weight wise and manoeuvrability, both exactly the same. And I suppose the major difference here is the Cambridge does have all of the cylinders and cassettes that you can interchange. You just need an Allen key to undo 2 bolts. It really doesn't take that much longer. It's the toolless element of the Stirling which does it for me, but I do think the Cambridge is a really good value mower. But if you do want the absolute best, then this mower is the right one for you. It would also really suit you if you were an amateur sports club. My local cricket club, Fladbury Cricket Club, we have 4 different lawn mowers that we use in any given week. One for the wicket, one for the square, we have one for scarifying, and we have a spare. Now we can replace all of those lawn mowers with the Allett Stirling because of the range of cut from 3mm to 50mm. The fact that it's toolless changing, we can verti-cut and scarify a wicket, and then in 10 seconds have it ready to cut the square. We can adjust the height really quickly, and for an amateur sport club like Fladbury, that's great because all of a sudden we only have 1 lawnmower to service every year, not 3. And the fact that we don't have a petrol power unit, the fact that this is battery, means that most of the servicing costs which normally go into the engine and the run of the engine are now completely gone. Less vibrations, easier to use, lighter to manoeuvre, and much more simple machine to use means that the volunteers who run that ground now have a very simple machine to get underway with. One of the biggest purchasers of the Stirling model in particular are the bowls clubs. Many bowls clubs around the UK, and as we know, that is really fine kept turf, and this lawnmower produces the cut and also has the manoeuvrability for the volunteer groundsmen usually to actually use this machine and manoeuvre it nice and easily. And when you couple such a high quality lawnmower with a good feeding program designed specifically for bowls clubs that we've designed at Mowd, then you're going to have one of the best bowling rinks in the UK. As for the final question, is it worth the price tag? Well, that is very individual. Why don't you let us know what you think in the comments? So there we have it, that's the review of the Allett Stirling 20-inch lawnmower in the home setting on a lawn that needs a little bit of work, yes, but you've seen the power of a really, really high quality mower. Thanks for watching today's video. Hopefully you liked it. Do us a favour, give us a thumbs up and share this with some of your lawn care friends as well. Tell them what you think of the Stirling and comment below. Let us know what you thought of it and what do you want us to review next. We'll look in the comments fairly regularly, reply to as many as we can, but that's where we get our kind of motivation and our ideas from. If you want to see an alternative to the Allett Stirling, a slightly cheaper lawnmower, the Allett Cambridge, we did a review on that lawnmower only a few months ago. You can check that video out up here. If you want to see some of our other lawn care videos, then YouTube has recommended you watch this one down here.